Hey everybody, this is Cromar with TGN. I'm here today to bring you some more Rift coverage from the Rift Beta 5, and today we're looking at classes. This is classes part 2, Mage and Rogue. So for next, we're going to make a Mage. Why not make a gigantic Mage? Go against the grain here. Alright, Mage Callings. I'm on my big purple Mage now. Archon. Archon is support specialist, and so this is kind of like your warlord or your bard, which you haven't seen yet, but for supporting your allies. Dominator is another support. This is like your mesmerizer or your crowd control specialist, or controller, that kind of thing. So this is obviously going to be very welcome in raids, probably necessary in raids, as at least a sub-spec. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Elementalists are summoners. They summon elementals. These are another really popular one. I see these everywhere as I'm running around. I guess people like having summons. Chloromancer is a healer. Yes, they specialize in plants. Get it? Chlorophyll. There was actually a thing on the front page. I can't remember if it was a poll or a forum post, but they were actually like soliciting suggestions from the community for better names for the Chloromancer. So it is kind of a silly name. But the point is that it is a healing mage spec. So if you have a mage and you decide you want to try healing, there you go. You got an option for that. Stormcaller is a pretty simple lightning and apparently rain firing type of mage. Pyromancer, well, I'll give you one guess what he does. Warlocks. Good old Warlocks. These guys use dots, kind of like what you'd expect. And the Necromancers are another summoning class. These guys are common too. I see skeletons everywhere. I'm serious, like every mage and every cleric I see have a summon. It's either a fairy or a fire or an earth elemental or a skeleton. I guess everyone loves picking a pet class. So to recap, you have a really nice spread here. You've got a healer, you've got 2 pet classes for DPS, you've got 2 support controllers, and then you've got 3 straight DPS, 1 via dots, 1 just straight up blowing crap up, and 1 that uses, I guess you could say it uses AoE. I mean, it kind of says they can devastate a large area, blah, blah, blah. And I've read that Stormcallers do more damage over time, like the longer they're allowed to cast, whereas Pyromancers just kind of run in and blow up immediately. Stormcallers, they're kind of like artillery. If you leave them alone, they build up and get more and more powerful, so pretty cool. I definitely feel like all 8 mage specs have their own unique use, you could say. Now, mages have a nifty combat system. As you see, my Pyromancer is going to start out with Fireball, which is just a straight up cast spell, and then Flame Bolt, which is just an instant cast. Nothing too complicated, but if you watch, if this guy even lasts long enough, I'm just going to, I got better pick up a better target. One that's not going to get killed like instantly. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to throw some fireballs at this guy and hit him with an instant Flame Bolt. And I have a meter here that's filling. It's called Charge Meter. And if you look at each of the spells, tooltip actually says the charge plus 10, plus 15, so there you go. So it tells you how much charge you gain, and then charge drains if you don't, use it continuously. So what charge is, it's like a runic power system from WoW, if you're familiar with that. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of like every time you cast one spell, you gain your resource charge, and then other spells spend it. So it's like a combo point system almost. Some spells cost mana and generate charge, other spells cost charge. And for our rogue, we're going to make a sneaky dwarf. Really, how can this guy sneak around, honestly? He's got a purple beard. Alright, this guy looks kind of cool. So, for the rogue ones, we've got some interesting stuff here. First, we're looking at it as an assassin, which is a pretty, self-explanatory stealth, attack, poison, cool stuff like that. Bard is a support class, which is actually kind of fun. It's actually ranged. And you actually gain combo points by casting spells called cadences. I know that because I've been playing a rogue with a bard as a subclass. It's pretty neat. And you also gain motifs, which buff your allies. And it's pretty neat. These are really useful. It says in the description, codas, fanfares, and anthems. Those fanfares and anthems are buffs, but codas are like finishing moves that are ranged. So I think it's pretty awesome. Blade Dancer is a straight up DPS sword swinging guy, and gives you lots of dodge and whatnot. And it says pairing with Riftstalker. You'll see why in a minute here when I get down to him. Marksman is a ranged non-pet class. It's just like artillery, and basically good at running away to get extra attacks. Nightblade, I wasn't totally sure. I'm not totally sure how it's different from Assassin, except that it probably does arcane damage instead of, or magic damage instead of poison damage, and it doesn't say anything about stealth. So maybe you should combine Nightblade and Assassin. I'm not sure, or maybe it's just like a combination with Blade Dancer. I haven't played around with Nightblade yet. Ranger is like a marksman with a pet, and it probably does less bow damage. But they're great to combine. You see Ranger and Marksman are both listed in each other's combined pairings, so I do see quite a few of these. Not a whole lot, though, running around. So you definitely want to combine those two. Saboteur is the one that also says combine with Marksman and Ranger. It's basically like traps, and it's pretty neat. So that's also a pretty unique class. That's totally different than anything else in the game. And then Riftstalker. This is a rogue tank. So yes, you have healing mages and tanking rogues. This is actually my main spec for my rogue, and this is really cool. I mean, you have a lot of abilities that, you know, you do combo points and you do finishers that give you absorb shields and extra armor and stuff like that. Now, I just went with the suggested pairings that listed here, Bard and Blade Dancer. Bard because I can buff myself and my allies, and Blade Dancer because you notice it says here, a talented Blade Dancer to easily avoid or deflect incoming attacks. You get lots of dodge and lots of parry, as well as a really cool spell called Shadow Step or Side Step or whatever it's called, that gives you a huge bonus to your dodge temporarily. So I think that this is a really solid combination if you want to play a tank rogue. Riftstalker, Blade Dancer, and probably Bard is your third. I don't know what else you'd pick besides Bard. Maybe Ranger. I don't know if your pet would help at all with tanking. Probably not. But I would definitely, you know, go with what it recommends here. So very cool. I like the uniqueness of having a rogue tank in leather and everything. So let's see what the Nightblade does. So the first ability here is Fiery Spike, which is a ranged combo point generating ability. Second one, Primal Strike, is a melee combo point generating ability, and then a finisher. So it uses lots of fire damage, which is cool. I guess that would ignore armor. So let's do a spike. Let's do a couple spikes. Put those combo points quick. Then hit Primal Strike, and then finisher. Yeah, this guy seems to be tearing it up. I mean, granted, this is level 1, of course, but certainly a lot more efficient than my cleric. So you've got a pulling skill, and then your general, you know, attack, finishing move. Neat. Riftstalkers, when they start out, don't even have a finishing move. You have to get level 2 or 3, I forgot which, before you get it. But these guys seem to do some pretty serious damage. This Blazing Strike is a lot more effective than my Riftstalker's finisher was at this level, that's for sure. Now you may have noticed that I have not gone into talent trees at all for any of these classes. That will be for a future video. I'm going to do much more in-depth videos for each of the callings. This has just been a preview talking about all 32 souls or specs or whatever you want to call them, and the 4 callings or classes, and the six races, although it's really not 6, it's more like 3 or 4. But yeah, I'm also going to show some gameplay with every single soul as a primary and lots of combinations. I don't think I can do every combination. I'm only one person, but there's too many possible combinations to do all of them. But I'll definitely do some of the ones that kind of stand out or seem the most obvious. So, thanks for watching. This is Cromar with TGN.